Welcome back here to Chatterbox Reacts. Reid Mouse, Elliot Reiring. We saw this video floating around on the Twitter sphere, so Elliot hasn't seen it yet. So I'm going to show him this video, and we are going to react to this individually. So Casey, let's, without further ado, show us this Joe Burrow slander.
What exactly has Joe Burrow done to separate himself into the upper echelon of quarterbacks? People complain all the time if you put Lamar or Herbert over him. Please, without using team success, because you know it's a team sport, give the arguments for Burrow being better. It's truly a ridiculous discussion at its core because Joe has quite literally done nothing to show he's better than guys in his same tier despite having a better supporting cast than almost all of them. The guy has consistently had a better defense than every other starting quarterback in his class outside of Hurts, yet you'll have people acting like this man is rallying the 0-16 line. For example, a guy like Acho who said don't bring down Herbert's supporting cast to lift him up. How'd the Chargers look like without Herb and how'd the Bengals look like without Burrow? That's right, one put out one of the worst teams in NFL history and the other finished 4-2, almost making the playoffs in a stacked AFC while averaging 26 in those last 6 games. It's also ironic how whenever a quarterback has injuries early in their career, they get labeled injury prone, like Lamar, Tua, or Kyler. But not with Joe, who seems to have this cloak of invisibility whenever anything seems to go wrong with the Bengals. The last time we saw Joe in the playoffs, he threw 2 ill-advised picks, one of which being midway through the 4th with a chance to take the lead. Yet all people could talk about afterwards was how poor his offensive line play was. There's been this narrative of coddling quarterbacks and how some can do no wrong. And for some reason, despite being the golden child for this, Burrow's name has been left out of it. Let's ruffle some feathers even more. Going forward on their respective contracts, I'd rather have Pat, Josh, Lamar, Love, Herbert, AR, Stroud, Caleb, and Drake than Joe on 5 years, $275 million. These past 4 years, we have seen Joe some of which is his fault for holding
he named a list of quarterbacks he'd rather have over Joe Burrow on their contract. It started out Patrick Mahomes. Duh. If you wouldn't rather have Patrick Mahomes than Joe Burrow, I'm sorry. Dumb. Secondly, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You know what? I think they're in that's more than fair. That's preference at that point. I get it. But then he says Jordan Love? I'm a Jordan Love believer. I'd rather have Joe Burrow 10 times out of 10. And he said Anthony Richardson? Anthony Richardson?
See, now this is somebody...
Caleb Williams, Drake May. I mean, we'll see. But,
this is somebody that clearly found a link to a discounted Amazon microphone, and he got it, and he bought it shipped to his house, and it appears that he just popped out of the basement, and he's like, let's have a strong take today. And the take was by far the worst take I've ever heard. What team success? Joe Burrow was sacked 10 times in the Super Bowl. 10.
So yeah, let's break this down into a few things, and then we'll roast him at the end of the video.
Okay, all right.
So starting off, he says that what besides team success has he done to separate himself from the other quarterbacks in his class? First off, why doesn't a quarterback get credit for team success, right? And once again, I get that the Bengals have a really good roster, but let's not act like this Bengals were a beacon of NFL success. In fact, before Joe Burrow got drafted, there were people arguing, saying that he shouldn't come to the Cincinnati Bengals, which obviously that was moronic. But then he says, let's list the accomplishments. The best and the second best, most passing touchdowns in franchise history.
Correct.
He's got 2 of the top 5 passing yards single season in franchise history. This is only in 2 full seasons, by the way.
Correct.
And he was on pace to break that this year in a season where he wasn't having as good of the previous years.
He wasn't healthy.
Right, he wasn't healthy.
He was hurt.
But then he goes, well, you take away Justin Herbert away from the Chargers and they suck. You take away Burrow away from the Bengals and they go 4-2, whatever they went with Jake Browning this year. But here's the thing. Justin Herbert and the Chargers have a good team. Do Keenan Allen?
Mike Williams.
Austin Eckler.
Bosa. Joey.
Bosa. I know they had a terrible coach, but, like, that's a good roster.
It's a great roster.
Joe Burrow goes to the Chargers. They perform much better.
Not only do they perform better, but you can make this serious argument that that's a Super Bowl contender and maybe the best team in the AFC. I would go out on that limb. I would say the Chargers roster overall, probably on paper, is better than the Bengals roster. You can make that argument.
Certainly bigger names.
And I think defensively they're better. Staley obviously was the defensive guy.
Yeah, Khalil Mack and Bosa.
He let him in. He let him into the Grand Canyon, let him fall off the cliff. But other than that, Joe Burrow again. Joe Burrow has completed passes at a 68% clip. Herbert 66%. Not only that, and again, you don't want to say team success. Fine, Justin Herbert. How big was that lead against the Jaguars? That he
4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Listen, if that's not Justin Herbert, I don't know what is. At some point, you have to blame the quarterback. I get you can lump in the team stuff, the team success, but at the same time, like Joe Burrow is a bona fide top 5 quarterback in the NFL. To throw in Richardson, whoever the else
he said Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson, who played 3 games this year. Get out of here. Get out of here. Joe Burrow has done more for the Bengals. He was a 2-time All-Pro. He finished 4th in the MVP voting. Again, accomplishments that my boy Justin Herbert has never accomplished. So
the Cincinnati Bengals hadn't won a playoff game for 30 years, and Joe Burrow's won 5 of them in the course of 2 years. Yeah, there are some things that he said were valid. The stuff about the injury stuff,
100%.
That is more than fair. And you're right that Joe Burrow does get sort of a shield. I think it's for a multitude of reasons. One, here in Cincinnati, he's obviously the quarterback that has done all the things that we've said, and we haven't seen any sort of success. So Joe Burrow gets kind of a pass there, but he had the best college season ever. He's a handsome guy. All these things. He's very marketable for the NFL. So, yeah, there's a bit of a shield over him. But he is he has had injury problems. So that is more than fair. Kyler Murray gets the label. Lamar Jackson gets the label. Go ahead and slap it on Joe Burrow. He gets a chance to disprove that, right? Like if he's healthy for the next 5 years, then, yeah, you can't call him injury prone anymore. Just same way with Kyler Murray, same way with Lamar Jackson and all the other guys that you named. But at this very moment, that's more than fair. Casey, go ahead and put this guy up on the screen one more time. I think the reason this guy likes Justin Herbert, you can pause the video if you can, but I think that the reason this guy likes Justin Herbert is because he looks like a Diet Right version of Justin Herbert. As I said, his hair looks like the golden arches from McDonald's. This guy has left that bedroom one time in the past 4 weeks, and the only reason he did that was to listen to the new Ice Spice album. That's what this guy is.
He has never felt grass in his entire life. He has never stepped outside of his home. He lives inside his parents, looks like an attic of some sort, Harry Potter-esque. But the fact that this guy has the audacity, and honestly, if you want to say that Herbert's better than Burrow, fine. And by the way, I was a little bit incorrect there. They both have been All-Pro twice. But obviously, Burrow's
Justin
finished
Herbert's
higher.
A very good quarterback.
Very good quarterback. But Burrow did finish higher than him in MVP in the MVP voting. If you want to say he's better, fine. Anthony Richardson better than Burrow because of what? The contract? You don't like paying quarterbacks that are good? Get out of here, buddy. I mean, crawl back in to whatever it looks like basement, attic, dwelling place that you're in right now and get out of here.
That helmet that's in the background is for a pea-sized head, and based on that take, that's a helmet that he should be wearing. See you guys next time.